What if I told you you could walk through fire and feel nothing? What if every insult hurled at you, every betrayal carved into your back, every failure written across your past, rolled off your mind like water off steel? This isn't motivation. This isn't another feel-good moment to make you smile. This is mental armor building. This is war against weakness. You spend enough time flinching at shadows, enough time handing over your power to cowards, critics, and chaos. That stops now. You used to break down. You used to shatter at the sound of disapproval, the sting of rejection, the pressure of failure. But that's the old version of you, the fragile version. That version is dead. Today, you don't break down. You break barriers. Yesterday, you reacted. Like a puppet on strings, your emotions controlled your every move. Today, you respond. With calm, with power, with strategy. You're no longer a puppet to emotion. You're the puppeteer. You pull the strings. You set the tone. You write the script. You've been told to be patient, to wait for time to heal. But listen closely, time doesn't heal. You do. With decisions, with grit, with deliberate rewiring of your emotional code. You don't need years. You don't need therapy marathons or 100 YouTube videos telling you to just breathe. What you need is one thing, a strike. A clear, clean, conscious break from your old programming. One decision, one moment where you say, I will never be owned by anyone again. Change isn't gradual. It's violent. It's surgical. You don't chip away at your weakness. You detonate it. The man or woman who can't be rattled rules the battlefield. Life is war. Every conversation, every room you walk into, every look someone gives you, it's all a test. And if they sense even one crack in your armor, they will drive a sword through it. That's the world. That's people. So what do? You reinforce the walls. You build yourself brick by brick until not even a nuclear word strike can shake you. Emotional invincibility is not a gift. It's a weapon forged in fire. And today, you pick it up. You've been too soft, too vulnerable, too concerned with being liked, understood, coddled. No more. This isn't about being a robot. This is about being a ruler of your own reactions, of your own inner empire. The strongest men in history weren't the ones with the loudest mouths. They were the ones who smiled when attacked, who stood tall in storms, who said nothing and conquered everything. That's who you become now. You don't beg for peace. You become peace. Cold, controlled, calculated. So here's your first command. Stop bleeding from small wounds. Stop handing your heartbeat to strangers. Stop giving anyone the power to ruin your day. They don't deserve that power. They didn't earn it. And from this moment forward, they don't get it. The war has started. Not out there, in here, inside your mind. And the first battle is against your reaction. Win that, and the rest of the world falls in line. This is your edge, your unshakable advantage. And it starts now, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Now, breathe in, feel the fire rise, and repeat this truth until it becomes your foundation. I do not react. I rule. Again, I do not react. I rule. Let it sink. Let it burn. Let it rewire every fragile part of you. Because this is not a suggestion. This is law. Most men let words cut them. They bleed over opinions. They beg for approval like dogs waiting for scraps, hoping someone will validate their existence. They crumble under criticism, panic at disapproval, beg for peace from people who enjoy their chaos. Why? Because they never learned to rule their own mind. They wait for permission, for kindness, for people to finally treat them better. But here's the truth. People don't treat you how you deserve. They treat you how you allow. And the average man allows too much. He hands over his power to anyone with a louder voice or a stronger glare. They walk around thinking they're in control, but their strings are pulled by strangers. One insult, and they're triggered. One look, and they're offended. One comment, and they spiral. That's not strength. That's slavery. Emotional slavery. And it's the invisible prison 99% of the world lives in. You don't see the bars, but you feel them every time you flinch, every time you snap, every time someone else dictates how you feel. You think you're angry at them? No. Deep down, you're angry at yourself. Because you know you gave them that power. Every time you react, you lose seconds. Those seconds become minutes. Minutes become years. Before you know it, you've lived a lifetime controlled by noise. Emotional noise. You've wasted your prime years playing defense, responding to fools, fighting ghosts, chasing approval. You're predictable. They know how to trigger you. They know where your buttons are, and they push them for sport. They poke. You bark. They laugh. You lose. over and over again. You're not feared. You're not respected. You're played like a cheap instrument in a loud room. You think you're passionate? No, you're undisciplined. Passion without control is chaos. Fire without aim burns your house down. You think you can't help it? Wrong. You've never trained. You've never tried. You've never declared war on your impulse. You just surrendered and called it who I am. But who you are is not fixed. It's forged. It's decided. And if you don't decide, you're just a product of your past pain, your old habits, your uncontrolled reactions. That's not identity. That's inertia. The biggest lie you've told yourself is this: it's just my personality. No, it's your prison. And the key isn't missing. It's just in your back pocket, buried under all your excuses. Every time you say, that's just how I react, what you really mean is, I've chosen not to evolve. That's the real wound. Not what they said, not what they did, but that you accepted it. You accepted being reactive. You accepted being weak. You accepted being a slave to whatever comes flying out of someone else's mouth. You've never stopped to ask, who benefits when I lose control? The answer is, everyone but you. They feed off your triggers. They own you when you explode. And here's the sickest part. They don't even respect you for it. They laugh. Because they know one thing. A man who can't control his own emotion can't control anything. Not his time. Not his direction. Not his destiny. And that's the problem. You're chasing goals. Chasing success. Chasing greatness. But you haven't mastered the first battlefield. Yourself. You can't build an empire if you collapse over criticism. You can't lead if you break down over insults. You can't conquer anything outside if you're conquered inside. Every reaction you give feeds the enemy. Every outburst, every sigh, every meltdown, it all becomes data. And now they know how to defeat you. This is the war you've been losing in silence. Every day, every hour, every time someone else makes you feel small. And it won't stop. Not until you stop. Not until you decide that your mind is off limits. No trespases, no invaders, no provocateurs welcome. Until you build walls so high, insults echo and die before they ever reach your soul. The question now is simple. How much longer will you keep bleeding? How many more years will you hand away your peace, your time, your control on a silver platter to people who don't even matter? You say you want freedom? Then earn it. Emotional freedom isn't free. It's paid for with awareness, with effort, with the death of your old self. Burn that weak version. Today, not tomorrow. Today, because no one's coming to save you from your emotions. No one's going to teach you to stop reacting. That's your job. And if you don't take it seriously, your mind will remain a battlefield that you keep losing. Control is a decision, not a talent, not a gift, not something you're born with. It's something you choose. Every single day, every single moment. It's not found in books, not granted by mentors. It's built internally through relentless awareness. You don't become unbothered by being spiritual. You become unbothered by being strategic. Ruthless with your boundaries. Merciless with your attention. You want to be unbeatable? Then stop bleeding energy into every insult, every glare, every provocation. To be unbothered is to be unbeatable. The world has trained you to shrink. They tell you to keep the peace, to walk away, to be the bigger person. But they don't mean peace. They mean submission. They want you small. They want you emotionally predictable. Why? Because small people are easier to manage. So you shrink. You bottle things up. You swallow your pain and your fire. But here's the law now. You don't shrink for peace. You expand for power. You don't dim your light. You fortify your core. You think this mindset is new? It's ancient. It's tested. Proven on battlefields and thrones. Marcus Aurelius didn't just rule Rome. He ruled himself. While legions followed his commands, he commanded his thoughts. He didn't lash out. He looked inward. He turned anger into strategy. He turned insult into insight. He was a warrior in silence. Napoleon Bonaparte, he didn't flinch when threatened. He didn't bark back when provoked. He didn't play emotional chess with fools. He calculated, cold, methodical, untouchable. Julius Caesar, the man was insulted daily, betrayed, mocked, even by his allies. And yet he smiled. Then he conquered, not through emotional explosions, but through iron will. You see the pattern? The greats do not react. They respond, with intention, with force, with precision, because every reaction is a transaction. You give power or you keep it. Let that echo. Every reaction is a transaction. Give power or keep it. If someone can press a button and make you explode, then you don't own yourself, they do. And you think emotion is the enemy? No. Impulses. Emotion is raw energy. It can be harnessed, directed, turned into art, into action, into victory. But impulse? That's mindless. That's chaos. That's weakness wrapped in fire. To master yourself, you must become emotionally sovereign. No trespasses, no leaks. What does that mean? It means your peace is not for rent. Your mind is not an open door. Your state is not available for manipulation. No one gets to walk into your day and leave footprints. Not family, not friends, not critics. No one. So how do you install this? Through discipline, through daily programming, through ritual. Breathe. Don't react. Again, breathe. Don't react. Let it hit. Let it pass. Let it die. You don't respond to ants when you're building empires. Observe. Absorb nothing. They'll provoke. You'll observe. They'll test. You'll document. They'll yell. You'll smirk. Observe. Absorb nothing. Over and over until it's not just instinct, it's identity. Reprogramming the mind isn't complicated. It's brutal. It's repetitive. It's a war of rewiring. You catch yourself mid-reaction and you snap out. You say out loud, not today. Not today, fear. Not today, emotion. Not today, distraction. You starve the old you. You kill the weak patterns. You bury the version that needed to be liked, understood, coddled. That man is dead. And from the ashes rises the new identity. The sovereign, the architect of emotion, the ruler of inner space, the general of your state. Let others explode. You'll explode inward into clarity. Let others bark. You'll build. Let others flinch. You'll fortify. Because now you understand, control isn't found, it's forged. And this is your forge. You're no longer a product of triggers. You are the programmer. The war is internal. The power is yours. The shift has begun. You want control? Then earn it. Through ritual, through routine, through non-negotiable structure. Discipline is not random. It's engineered. You don't stumble into control. You install it. Daily, brutally, consistently. This is not theory. This is your new operating system. 3 pillars. 1 path. No mercy. Pillar 1. Mental discipline. Every morning, before the world touches you, you touch your mind. Wake up and say it out loud. Nothing controls me. No one owns me. Again, nothing controls me. No one owns me. That's your battle cry. Your reset button. You start the day on your terms, or you don't start at all. Then, you journal. 1 trigger, 1 reaction, 1 postmortem. You ask yourself, what provoked me yesterday? Why? What wound did it poke? You reverse engineer your own mind like a combat strategist studying his own battlefield losses. You dissect your emotions like a scientist. No fluff, no poetry, just brutal clarity. And then, 10 minutes of silence. No scrolling, no stimulation, no escape. Just you, sitting, breathing, watching your thoughts crash into each other. You don't run from the noise, you face it. You enter your own mind like a soldier sweeping a battlefield for traps. You find them, disarm them, rewire them. That silence? That's not peace. That's mental cleaning. That's psychological surgery. Pillar 2. Physical control equals emotional control. Your body is the outer wall of your inner empire. If it's weak, your mind is vulnerable. So you train it, like a machine, like a warrior preparing for siege. Cold showers, every morning. No compromise. The discomfort? It teaches obedience. It kills softness. Every flinch burned off by cold steel water. Then movement. Hard workouts. Not for the abs, for the armor. You're training not just to look strong, but to feel unbreakable. You want restraint? Learn it in sweat, in pain. In the moments your body screams, stop, and you whisper back, keep going. Discipline isn't found in books. It's found in the last push-up when your arms are shaking. It's found in the last mile when your lungs are burning. You don't just train the body. You burn out the emotional chaos trapped inside it. Emotion is stored in muscle. Burn it out. Wake. Move. Repeat. That's your rhythm now. No overthinking. No negotiations. No should I. You just do. You become the repetition. And in the repetition, you become unshakable. Pillar 3. Mission-focused work. You want control over emotion? Focus is your weapon. Every morning, 90 minutes. No distractions. 1 mission. That's it. Pick your war and fight it. Write, build, sell, code, study, create. Whatever moves you toward empire, do it. With monk-like obsession, with killer instinct. While the world scrolls and snoozes, you execute. Build something, refine something, Earn your silence. You don't deserve peace until you've spilled mental blood into a craft. Focus creates pride. Pride creates strength. Strength kills weakness. This is how you break the loop. Not with therapy sessions, but with execution. With quiet wins stacked in silence. The scoreboard doesn't lie. Do the work. Watch your mind obey. Non-negotiables. Carve these into stone. No phone before sunrise. You touch your mind before you touch the matrix. Your thoughts before their agenda. Your breath before their noise. This is not a suggestion. It's law. No gossip. No complaints. No self-pity. You don't speak weakness into existence. Your mouth is a weapon. It builds or it destroys. Speak only what sharpens. And if you slip, you reset. No morning. No spited. No guilt loops. Get up. Move again. Forward. Always forward. This is war. Soldiers don't cry. They recalibrate. This blueprint is not for the ordinary. This is for those who want total inner control. The kind that radiates without words. The kind that makes people feel something different when you walk into the room. This is the way. Follow it without deviation, without doubt, without compromise. Train like this and watch the weak parts of you die quietly. One day, you'll look in the mirror and not recognize the man who used to flinch at life. 30 days. That's all it takes to become unrecognizable. You walk differently, taller, slower, more precise. You don't rush. You calculate. Every step is intentional. Every glance is measured. You no longer move through the world like prey. You move like a predator. Calm, controlled, unmoved. And people notice. They can feel it. They sense something is different. The games they used to play on you don't work anymore. The emotional traps, you step over them like rubble. You've upgraded, and they know it. Insults now sound like static. Like background noise from a cheap radio you don't even hear. Praise? Optional. It no longer inflates your ego or dictates your energy. You've detached from the drug of approval. You've built your own validation pipeline. Internal, infinite, indestructible. Their opinions can't touch you because you've armored the one place that matters, your mind. Let's rewind. Before, you used to rage. You used to shout. You used to let anger chew through your composure and leave you in pieces. Now, you smile. Not the weak smile of surrender, but the cold, quiet grin of someone who knows he's already won. You used to argue with fools. Now you nod and build in silence. You used to seek justice from the world. Now, you are the justice, the walking judgment, the final verdict, the executioner of your own standards. What you've built inside you is rare. It's not peace, it's precision. It's not silence, it's strategy. You feel the edge now. That razor-sharp awareness of where your energy goes. You don't waste it. You don't leak. You don't chase. You simply hold your frame. And they orbit around you, confused, curious, cautious. Because real control, it stuns people. They're used to noise. You bring stillness, and it terrifies them. You feel the control in your breath. In the way you no longer explain yourself. In the way you let others talk while you observe. Their chaos becomes your fuel. Their drama becomes your proof of evolution. And your silence, your restraint, it burns hotter than their screams ever could. This isn't self-improvement. This is identity execution. You've buried the emotional slave. You've silenced the reactive child. You've exiled the weak version that once begged for comfort and cried over crumbs. That version is gone, and in its place stands a sovereign, a king, a commander, a man forged in silence, sharpened by discipline and driven by code. And people notice, not because you told them, because you moved differently. Your energy hits first before your words. They whisper your name, not in admiration, but in awe. You didn't need to convince them. You became undeniable. Because when your inner world is fortified, the outer world bends. Reality becomes negotiable. You influence outcomes without raising your voice. That's the reward. That's the crown. That's what they can't steal from you. Because it's not worn on your head. It's built into your bones. You've built armor. Not on your body, inside your mind. And the world will try. Oh yes, they'll try. They'll test your edges. But you won't bleed. You won't bend. You'll absorb, reflect, respond. And then you'll rise. Because you become the calm inside the storm. Not by chance. Not by accident. But by design. By war. By daily battle against yourself. Now comes the final choice. You can close this and return to noise. Or you can choose transformation. Not tomorrow. Now. You don't delay strength. You don't wait to become who you were meant to be. You seize it, with fire in your eyes, with stillness in your hands. Say it out loud. I don't react, I rule. Again, I don't react, I rule. Let that be your law. Let that be your war cry. Every day, until the world feels it when you enter a room. Because this is not motivation. This is not inspiration. This is law. This is war. This is you rebuilt.